jaw on the floor the whole time. What's going on with the Foundation? Why don't I trust him? And I have to say, I'm sick and tired of hearing about this for the greater good. Like, emotionally, how do you mourn a planet? Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel of Delusional Theories. Once again, no delusional theories today because I'm just enjoying the show and enjoying the conversations within the show between all the several characters, and oh boy, did something happen in this episode. My jaw was on the floor. That's I'll get to it. I'm gonna do Gail, Dusk, Day, and then Demerzel, and the mule in between all of them. So Gail arrives on New Terminus, and this happened last episode. But this episode, we see her being captured. Of course, she wasn't captured. And we have the whole scene of Gail and I forget what she is. I'm gonna call her Commander. Lord Commander of New Terminus. The whole scene is presented as a way for Gail to extract information about the mule, but really it turns out to be a scene about giving information about the mule's power and the extent, how deep it goes into people's minds. And we can see that even though the mule is controlling these people and has his influence like rooted on these people, that Gail still has some way of, going inside their minds and seeing something inside their minds. And we see it with the representation of the two women facing each other. And it looks like it's one of those little huts from Gail's home planet. Am I wrong about that? Let me know in the comments, because I couldn't really figure out if this mental representation came from Gail's mind or the other person's mind, because when she's looking into, I think, Preach, we also see the same kind of mental representation of like the place where they are at. And when we see Magnifico, I will talk about it. First of all, so happy that he's safe, by the way. But when we see Magnifico, it kind of looks like a different side of the same place, but I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if you know. We see them face to face, and we see Gail trying to reach deeper into her mind to try to find information about the mule. And first of all, really interesting that this whole thing is taking place in yet another setting with water. And then when the lady goes down, she goes down in water and like she drowns inside her own mind and her brain destroys her body from the inside. Horrible. Cool as shit. So sorry. I'm so sorry. At the core of my heart, I'm just a girly obsessed with sci-fi, okay? And Gail explains this influence and this control that a mule exerts on other people, imposes on other people as a bullet, as kind of a mental bullet that she has to extricate from them to free them from the mule. But then when she tries to, they fight back. And this is the thing that I noticed on my second watch, is that the lady didn't start talking about how much it hurt until she started to fight it a little bit, until Gail started trying to get to the goddamn bullet, to get to the truth of wherever that person's consciousness really was, like inside her own mind. And I thought that was interesting that this mental bullet provides a lot of happiness, a lot of love, kind of like a drug, that makes you oblivious to anything else apart from the beautiful happiness and love that you feel. And then as soon as you start to fight it, it starts killing you. But what it really feels like is like this bullet has goddamn veins that starts being like the soul provider, the soul feeder of this person, of this, creature, of this human being. And then as soon as you try to fight it or resist it, or I don't know, take out the bullet, it's like you're killing the being from the inside. Like the influence that the mule has on these people is insane, because he wasn't even there. And later in the episode, they make the point that to have an influence, to be able to control people's minds, he has to be, either physically present or close by to be able to influence them. And that's why a lot of people are still fighting, because he is on a space station, he's not on the planet, so he can't have influence over everyone. And even so, even though he can't have influence over everyone because he's physically far away, in the people, he has already planted his little seed, planted his little bullet. It's completely infallible. Like, Gail cannot free that woman, and she eventually dies because she kills herself from within. Like, how terrifying is that? Ugh. People seem overwhelmed more than they seem to feel love or true happiness or whatever. But later on, we get kind of another side to this. And I know this is convoluted and this is like entangled in this web of secrets between the mule, Magnifico, and Beta, and whoever the hell is a true mule and whoever the hell is the baby. I understand the whole confusion, the theories, the mess. I understand. However, when we see Magnifico's mind, we see that he is controlled by the mule, but we also hear him saying that he loves Beta. And listen, I know that the theory is that Magnifico is the mule and Beta is the baby or vice versa or whatever. But honestly, my corny little ass would love something else to happen. Gail does not know how to disconnect people from the mule's influence because people under the mule's influence love the mule above all else. And the people who are not under the mule's influence, and the way that Gail can tell that someone is not under his influence is by seeing who they love above all else. And that's how she sees that Preacher is not under his influence, how she sees that Torren is not under his influence, and how she sees that Magnifico is under his influence. But even so, even under the mule's control, Magnifico still loves Beta. It would be so cute to me if the way that Gail can finally extricate this, take out this bullet, separate these people from the mule's influence is by reminding them of the people they truly love and what it truly feels to be loved. The Harry Potterification of Foundation. I know it's corny, but I'd love to see that. Anyway, an aspect that I enjoyed about this interaction between Gail and the commander lady is that she says, just fuck me up. I know you want to. And Gail did want to. Clearly. In her face, she wanted to, but she didn't. And I like this because it shows how focused and how in control of herself she really is, and how she knows that she will not win this fight through punching her way out of it, but rather through her mentalic abilities. I hope. Before Pritch appears, we see that the way the lady is taken out is by a representation of the literal mule pulling her down the water, drowning her. That has to be important to the mule and Gail's connection. I mean, the water, the drowning. Someone made a comment on a video a while ago about this, and I believe it. There has to be some significance to that. But last thing I want to say about this is how creepy that was. Creepy, creepy, creepy. Her going down like his parents back then with the smiley faces. Ew. Ew. Anyway, Pritch shows up and cool beans because we find out that there are survivors, there are people fighting back. The mule is not controlling everyone on the planet. And then we arrive to this cute little settlement of survivors. Look at that. A previously organized civilization living somewhat normal lives that are reduced to surviving under rubble and with horrible conditions because some authoritarian leader decided to take over their home for better control of the region. Those are our heroes, right? We're siding with them. I'm loyal as an ink stain, true as a scar. Loyal as an ink stain. Low point of this episode was Torren turning to Gail's people and saying, do we all want to kill him? As if they would say no. Who are you asking, Torren? What the hell was that low moment of the episode? And then we go to Harry. And I don't know if I trust this Harry. I had this feeling in the previous episode, when he was talking to the mule and he let the mule go, and he hasn't told Gail about that. He hasn't told Gail that he's met the mule and he could have taken the mule out and he didn't. I don't trust this Harry because it's clear that he didn't take the mule out because he needed Gail to come so that he could do this deal with Gail and get his body. Honestly, he feels like he is serving himself more than he's serving the Foundation or the Foundation's principles or whatever. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. What's going on with the Foundation? Why don't I trust him? But anyway, they have their little conversation, and this makes me think about Gail. And we're going to talk about her in a second. It answered questions, and then it created more, really. But Harry's like determination to get a body, and the fact that he is helping Gail only to get that body, like, this is your job, Harry. This is the Foundation. This is your goddamn job, is to complete the mission of the Foundation. What do you mean you are bargaining? What do you mean you're making a deal that you will only help if you get something for yourself? And this made me think about Gail and why it is so much easier for her mind to stand something like that, like an existence with a conscious like that, without a body and whatever. And it isn't as easy for Harry. It's almost like her mind isn't human, because Harry's mind doesn't feel complete unless it has a body. But Gail's mind seems totally fine with it. So I was thinking about this, and I will touch it on in a little bit when I talk about that part with Demerzel and everything. But, like, how does she stand it that much easier, you know? Does this imply that she isn't human? Because another thing is implied in our conversation with Demerzel, and now I'm here thinking, who the hell is she? As always, I'm here thinking, who the hell is she? Gail asks Harry to use the little shade, the little shade. The way that I'm shading Harry now because I don't trust him. But anyway, he's gonna use his little shade to get Gail to the space station, whatever the hell they're calling it. And I can only assume that from there they will go to Trantor, and that's how they will get to the library and how we will get to see the final battle. And the last thing we get from this conversation is annoying beyond belief to me. It was annoying. I didn't like it. I was annoyed. Harry gave Demerzel the Radiant to create the paradox that would eventually mean that Demerzel could help them or whatever. But when Gail asks him why he truly gave the Radiant to Demerzel, he says to annoy him. I'm assuming him is the other Harry. Can you imagine putting him like a master move, a big ass move that will affect the entire galaxy just to be in a tiff with your other self? That's the kind of move that the Empire pulls. They're always arguing with one another. And in this episode, we even see Dusk, and I'll get to him. We even see Dusk comparing himself to Harry Seldon and the Empire, and comparing the Empire to the Foundation. And I mean, but yeah, let's talk about Dusk. Well, we begin this above New Terminus with the mule telling Dawn, oh, guess who I'm about to meet? Guess who came calling? The Galactic, what is it? Council? Empire? Council. The Galactic Council. And the mule says, maybe they want to save you. And my ass went out loud. Fat chance. Like, me and the mule are in sync because he laughed about his own idea immediately afterwards, about his own joke. So yeah, we see Dusk's little present for the Galactic Council, the little thingy of the tiny planets, and the Maiden, the Luminists, whatever the hell they are called, I always forget them. Jaw on the floor the whole time. And Demerzel's little face the whole time that thing was happening, especially when he went for the Maiden. I mean, when he said that, a planet named the Maiden was always asking to be deflowered, laser between his eyes. I was so angry when he said that, like I wanted to punch my screen. There's no way in hell Dusk is going to go calmly. There's no way in hell. I mean, Demerzel saw it. His brother, his clone, Dawn, saw it. We saw it in those pearly blue eyes. In my last hours, I will not bow to a usurper with the name of a farm animal. I mean, the snobbist shit of it all. It's not only that he will not bow to a usurper. It's like, no. It's even worse than a usurper. It's a usurper. I don't know how to say this goddamn word, with a name of the animal of poor people. I will not bow down to the what? Snobbish little asshole. The way that they're making us hate Dusk so easily in these final episodes, like kicking the little ferret and then cooking him. I mean, say less. But it genuinely feels like they're manipulating our emotions about him, because he was okay through the majority of the season, and now asshole, complete asshole. And they even say it, like Dawn says he doesn't sound like himself, and Demerzel is treating him a little bit differently. And then the ambassador, we will get to the ambassador. We will get to her. Love that woman. Like, I once again was enthralled by the conversation that this specific scene evokes, because the weapon that he used in the Foundation, initially he had intended for it to be just a deterrent to his enemies, whoever the hell those could be. And this weapon is to the Foundation what nuclear weapons are to us, right? And there's this idea that it's just a deterrent. They're just there as a threat, that no one should start a conflict that is big enough to justify them, that no one should use their own weapons because others will be used against them. It's like a deterrent, so that you can't do things that are too bad to take, which deters no one, obviously. But, I mean, I guess the point is that it deters them from attacking the wrong people, I guess. Because if you attack certain people, no one cares. But this, of course, made me think a lot about it, because I mean, I do think a lot about this in my day-to-day. I am clearly and very publicly afraid of the future, because the future seems to be heading towards not a right-wing wave. No, a right-wing tsunami. And the thing that I always kind of jokingly talk with my friends about is the idea that no one in their right mind would use a nuclear weapon, and no one would be that desperate or that psychotic or that suicidal to do it. And then you will have to remember how many world leaders are just old ass men. Because I mean, if anyone in our lifetime would ever dare to do that, wouldn't it be one of those old dudes that is like war hungry, about to die, and with nothing to lose? Wouldn't it be one of those? And that's Dusk. That's literally Dusk. He's an old man, still power hungry, has the whole galaxy against him, apparently, and it shouldn't even matter to him. He's gonna be dead in 2 days. He shouldn't even matter, but he's gonna be dead in 2 days. What does he care about? You know, I was floored by this, like jaw on the floor, and literally my mind on the floor as well. And then like the ambassador crying on the backstage, insane, because she's just experienced a fraction of this, because the mule took over her own planet, her home planet. So she has an idea of what these people are feeling, but not completely, because like emotionally, how do you mourn a planet? Like, how do you mourn 1 billion or 2 billion lives? Emotionally, how do you as a person mourn an entire civilization, an entire culture of people? Not one entire culture, like a planet full of cultures. How do you as an individual can like mourn that, can, understand that in your little tiny human brain? And of course, this is the thing that shakes the mule. The cost of Demerzel's sanity, because baby girl is not doing well. We will get to her, but I'll get to that as well. But then the last thing on Dusk's plate, let's put it like that, is the conversation with the ambassador. Honestly, baby girl was on point. she was on point, because she goes to him and she gives her the whole speech of where do I turn to now? Like, and she's not just saying it for herself. She's not saying this like, I mean, where do I live the rest of my life? What's going to happen to me? She's saying this on behalf of humanity, really. Like, where do we turn to now? There is no foundation. There is no decency in the empire. There is no empire that we can follow after this. And like, what now? What now? What is there? What is there? And this little ferret of a man, it's appropriate that he was eating a ferret, because this little ferret of a man has the audacity to say, I was the victim. I was a lamb. And I mean, sure, his planet was being like handed over. Sure, it was messed up. It was messed up and they shouldn't have done it. But by doing this, by decimating 3 different planets/stations, he became like 1,000 times worse than them. So when he's saying, I'm the victim, it was self-defense, it's like, measure it. Measure it. And the funny thing is that he only targeted those places because he couldn't reach the mule. He had to target those places because there was no other way of passing a message to the mule. And I mean, as soon as he did it to the first one, the mule was sold. He didn't have to do it to the other two. But it's going to die tomorrow. What does he care? But then the ambassador says the line, and I'm going to read it. I call you a small, petty man, screaming and pissing with fear as they load you on the Demerzel. Demerzel, I'm assuming that's the little machine that's going to pulverize him. But the other little aspect of this is the comparison that has been happening between Foundation and Empire and Harry and Empire. And he expresses it, the idea that, you know, Harry Seldon is not above killing billions of people. Lady, what the hell are you talking about? You support that. And basically she says it's okay because it's to the purpose. It's for the greater good. It's for the good of humanity. And I have to say, I'm sick and tired of hearing about this for the greater good. If we have to exterminate billions of people to save the other billions, do we deserve to be saved? Because remember, the 30,000 year dark age is caused by who? By whom? I don't know which one it is. It's caused by people. It's caused by humanity. They are causing their own downfall and killing billions of people to avoid their own downfall. I would say, just let it fall. Just let it fall. Let them die. Let them be extinct. Let someone else come by. Let someone else inherit the galaxy. Maybe there's a different species that would do a better job. Because we keep talking about this shit. It's for the greater good. We have to do this through the Seldon plan to save humanity. Do we? Should we be saved? Like, should these people in the Foundation world be saved? I'm sure the majority of them are innocent and well-meaning, but I mean, if the people who end up in power are always these dickheads, what's the point? You know? What's the point? And this is my issue with it. And it's my issue with it, like, not just in this fictional world, it's my issue with it in this world. Like, if so many people have to suffer and be killed just that some others live a decent, comfortable life, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point of killing billions of people to save other billions of people just so a species can continue? Like, this is not humans being rational and not giving in to their primal instincts and whatever. This is us being animals and just wanting to live long. And not even us, the individuals. It's a species. Like, these people are not going to live to see it. The mule, Dusk, they're not going to live to see it. What is it going to impact them? You know, I'm going on a tangent. Honestly, the only person who potentially will live to see this world is Demerzel. And if she had her freedom, she would not be doing all this bullshit. But then the only beautiful ray of sunshine in this whole episode They get rescued by Song, and I appreciated the idea that Song and her partner are like true believers and truly kind people who would rather follow their beliefs than than blindly follow a leader. And they grabs the skull, and he's running to Demerzel to free her from her programming. If that happens this season, I'm gonna be in pain, like good pain, because as soon as she's free from her programming, she's gonna be like the solution. She's gonna be the solution. She's gonna be like an unstoppable machine fighting for the good of mankind. I mean, another creature fighting for the greater good. Oh, God. But I have faith in her. Let's see what happens. Oh my God. Oh my God. I am an inheritance person. Oh. But then Demerzel, we saw her suffering through Dusk's little present, and then she has that conversation with Dusk about the math, about marginal options. I mean, the machine is overheating, is what it was giving. And in this conversation, there was talk about Demerzel's limitations. And then again, with Gaal, like, Dusk realizes, because Demerzel tells him that she isn't immortal. She will have a very long life, but not an immortal life. And then when she's talking to Gaal, and Gaal is like, how in the world are you still functioning, baby girl? You are a robot. You are made to live with other robots. How are you alone and functioning? And honestly, when she said that, I wanted to cry so hard, because another element for us to feel Demerzel's pain. But yeah, I mean, it was another element questioning the vitality of Demerzel. So, and I don't know if there's been conversation about this before in the show, I don't remember, but this is like an important topic to be introducing at this point in the show, speaking about Demerzel's what the fuck was I gonna say? Non-illimited, non-infinite. The fact that Demerzel can die. But about the conversation with Dusk, first point, he will not forget that and will use it to his advantage, because this guy does not want to go. He does not want to be, what did he say? 3 kilograms of ash? He does not want to be that. So the conversation, well, basically Demerzel's monologue is about the fact that she always used to have one path, the path of the empire, to protect the empire, for the prosperity of the empire, and blah, blah, blah. But now that empire is coming to an end, and she needs to calculate all of her options to make it survive, and the future is very uncertain and hence very malleable, she is no longer on that one path, because she can't be. She has to be on multiple paths. She has to calculate the likelihood of each path providing the survival of the empire. And her conflict is about her responsibility towards the empire. And she says, what responsibility do I have to calculate every single option, even the ones that are only marginally possible, that are only like a little bit possible or plausible to happen? And she's freaked out by this, and I understand why. Because I too would not want to spend my life thinking of every possible future in which the thing I love the most would be destroyed. I would not. If you have anxiety, you know how horrible that is. And then when she talks to Gaal, we find out that one of the reasons this is so absolutely horrendous to her is that she is not meant to do these calculations by herself. She is not meant to have this reasoning by herself as a robot. She's meant to do it together with other robots. That part was heartbreaking. I wasn't okay. And of course, the other reason why this must be torturous right now for her is Gail's vision, and the fact that even though she doesn't know how it could be possible that she makes such a choice, given her current parameters, she knows in the future she will help the Second Foundation. And this is messing her up. So let's talk about her trip to the library. She visits what I assume are Gaal's memories, aka / her consciousness inside the Radiant, kind of maybe in the same way that Gail visits people's consciousness in their own minds, or that Gail visited Harry inside his little cocoon. I'm assuming it's kind of a similar thing, because she even says it actually directly, that the Radiant has 3 mothers. Gaal, Demerzel through her memories of past time, and I'm assuming the third is Gail. Am I missing something? Because she proved the little thing when she was still in the water planet. So it makes sense that part of Gaale's memories, aka / consciousness, is still inside the Radiant. And she even says it, that when Harry first met her, that he thought she was the Radiant. And then Demerzel meets her, and Gaal is like, I know what you want me to be. But she never confirms it with this observation that I was having about Harry not dealing well without his body, and then Gaal here, and this little interaction where she tells Demerzel, I know what you want me to be, and it's kind of implied that she would continue, but I am not. And I was thinking, it would be so cool, and I've been saying this for a while, if Gaal was from the future and she just came back in time to give a little help here and there. But to me, I think the coolest thing that Gaal could be is like a mix between human and robot in a way. I don't know how to explain that. It doesn't make any sense, but that would be so cool. And maybe it would explain why she doesn't go insane without a physical body. Or that part of her, at least the part of her that lives in the Radiant. She knows she's going to help the Second Foundation. And she talks about the fact that she knows that she's going to help the Second Foundation, but she doesn't know why. She doesn't know her motive. And she can only conceive of one motive that would help the Empire, is to eventually betray them and give them to the Mule. But I too am afraid that she will betray them. I hope that the Demerzel that makes this decision to help the Second Foundation is already a free Demerzel from the goddamn skull, wherever the hell it can do for her. I have no idea how that's going to work. But that's all I want for my baby girl. I want her to be free, and I want to meet the free Demerzel. Like, I want to see what the free Demerzel would look like. Like, would she give herself a different face? Would she give herself a different name? Like, what would she do? I'm so curious about that. I haven't been this excited about the finale of a TV show in such a long time. Like, I'm dying to know what happens, and I have a feeling that not everything is going to be neatly wrapped up in this season, but I'm gonna love the finale for sure. So yeah, I mean, catch me here next week. As usual, I'm gonna be reviewing it, hopefully with a bit of a shorter video. I get too excited about these videos and I record for way too long. But by the way, I've been noticing that some of you guys have been giving me the little new function with the hypes. I still don't know how it works. I think it propels the video to other audiences, which is nice. But to anyone who's been doing it, thank you very much. Find me here next week for Foundation, and in many other days for other TV shows, and on Patreon for additional weekly reviews. Bye, guys.